So now you've tried a problem just like the one I just showed you, and I want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So I started by entering the equation into my calculator, and I set my window back to a standard window. When I was done, I hit zoom 6. So now I need to go ahead and get my window to where I can see the top of this, and I'm still just guessing and seeing if what I've guessed works. So I put 40 in this time, but I can't see the top, so I'm going to go a little bit more than 40. I'm going to go 50. And I can see the top there. I'm going to take some of this out and a little bit of this out. I'm going to start my x at -2 and end it at 8. So in my window, my x will start at -2 and end at +8. And now I can see this parabola nicely. Same scenario, we've got the ball being thrown up into the air. F of h is height in feet, t is time in seconds. The ball is going to go upward, reach a maximum height, and come back down. So the height of the ball when it hits the ground is still 0, because if it's on the ground it has no height. It's hitting the ground here and here. At what times or x values does the ball hit the ground? So I'm finding when x is, what x is when y is 0. So I'm going to the table, second graph, and I can see between -1 and 0, it went from a negative to a positive. So again, that's going to be an answer that we end up throwing out, but I will go ahead and jot it down. Between -1 and 0 seconds. The second time it hits the ground, you can see it's going up, 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 and then it starts down and down, and sometime shortly after 6 seconds it's going to hit the ground again, because it goes from a positive to a negative between 6 and 7. So my second answer is between 6 and 7 seconds. So now, keeping in mind that t represents time, the values that make sense are only the positive ones. So the 6 to 7 seconds, we would disregard the negative seconds. Now for the height, what values make sense in this problem? We see that there are y values that are negative, but it doesn't make sense to have a negative height of your baseball. Start say football. Your baseball is not going to have a negative height. So the things that make sense for h of t are again your positive values. The vertex, I can calculate on my calculator. Second trace, it is a maximum, so selection number 4. My cursor is here, and I want to set it a little bit to the left of the vertex, and then a little bit to the right of the vertex. And I'm asking my calculator to find the highest point between those two. And my calculator tells me it's at 3,48. So my vertex at 3,48, which remember, your x value is time in seconds. So at 3 seconds, 48, your y value is the height in feet, and this is when it reached its maximum height of 48 feet. It took 3 seconds to get there to its maximum. So now we want to know how high is the ball after 2 seconds. Well, the easiest thing to do is look at your table. At 2 seconds, the ball is 43 feet high. And finally, how long will it take the ball to reach a height of 12 feet? It looks like 12 is going to happen somewhere between 5 and 6 seconds. Let's see if it will happen twice. Also between 0 and 1 second, so shortly after it's released, so less than a half of a second, and a little more than 6 seconds, it'll be at 12. So how long will it take it to reach the height of 12 feet? Between 0 and 1 second, and again between 5 and 6 seconds. hope you got all of those right. Put your window back by hitting Zoom 6 on your calculator, and that puts you back to a standard window. And now turn your paper over and give the other problems a try.